Hello, my friend, wherever you are. I'm sending you love, the power of positivity, and vitamin D somewhere out there. But my friend, welcome to the Gazillionaires Club. We are officially at the Plaza, the Italian coffee shop. I did a video right before this, but the volume of the music like right above me was so loud, I had to turn it off and do a new one. But luckily, I was only starting the video. So in this video, I want to share with you a little bit about Monero, which is like the king of privacy coin, right? And then Bitcoin, because like those and Ethereum, for me, the interest in Ethereum and the DeFi space sounds great and all, but I'm more excited about the Bitcoin and Monero, the privacy and the public ledger. Now, when I think about public ledger, at least from the like the concept of like audit the Fed, and when the US print money, we call it foreign aid. I mean, whatever. And money that being, sent to other countries, and like the sources are unknown, which is really bad, because as a country, as like we should know where that money is going to. How do we get the money? Where did it go to? And when it comes to the public ledger, like transparency, especially with government, I mean, I think it should be transparent, because when we look at the Fed in the last, we're talking about 100 years, right? I mean, they've been around like 1913, but before that, they did existed. And the fact that they are so powerful, and even banks, right? They're so powerful, they can create money, they can cause destruction, and it put the whole world economy in chaos. And that's why we need a public ledger. If you have not purchased The Bipolar Poet, I advise you to do so, especially if you are a millionaire or a billionaire, for the sake of your sanity. Why Bitcoin? If we understand the properties of money, if not Bitcoin, then what? Now, on the other hand, what's happening with Bitcoin, we can see all the chokeholds, right? Like addresses can be blacklisted. People gotta have KYC on an exchange. And we see this before, right, with traditional banking. Like, you don't want to open a bank account and have no identity. But what happened? What happened when we give up those information is being abused. And at least if Bitcoin can be the world reserve currency, then it's gonna be great. On the other hand, just like anything, right? If Bitcoin is being abused, and the system that we are setting up for Bitcoin, because as far as I can see, all of the exchanges, like, from Gemini to Coinbase to BlockFi, even Binance, all of these exchanges, Celsius as well, are the new traditional banking. They are the new banks, right? But but with all of the regulations that they have to follow, I feel like is traditional banking 2.0. And I guess Bitcoin is a good start for a conversation. Now, let's go to Monero, privacy. Why do we need privacy? Like, simply because to protect your identity, to protect people from knowing how much you have. But in a perfect world, right? In a perfect world, like not everything should be anonymous, because imagine if we take the concept of the central banks or banking. These people always been private. Even some of the shady business people, the underworld people, are going to tap into Monero. That's just the fact of it, And And the thing is, like, should we be afraid of Monero? Like, I try to think, like, both sides, just, because some people say that Monero is good, but hey, people can use it for bad. And when we look at Bitcoin, like, the maximalists are saying, hey, Bitcoin is the force for good, but it can also be used for bad. So I've come to a conclusion, my friend, just kind of like anything, right? Certain thing has to be public. Certain thing has to be private. And the fact that, like, we are trying to kill Monero, like, killing Monero, meaning that they are not putting them on exchanges. I think Binance has it, but not for Binance US, right? And and when I come to think of it, I'm starting to love it, but not in a way where I would put all of my money in it. I would definitely put about 30% of my holding, into Monero. Simply because, let me rephrase that, 20 to 30%, because as of this point, making this video, I don't own any Monero. But the reason why I want to get into it, simply Bitcoin is the most adopted coin out there. It's still one of the OGs, right? Second, institution, government, regular people are pushing for it. And the good thing is, the fact that it is a public ledger, if people are pushing for it, it means that they kind of have to play within the Bitcoin, public ledger. It means that all transactions are known, where it came from and where it is going to, right? So I think Bitcoin is going to be the dominant for now. And as far as technology goes, right? I also heard that other like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, even some of the other coins, like the technology are way more superior. But the thing is, the security on Bitcoin has always been known for it. And in crypto space, like project, they come and they go. Bitcoin been around the longest. And a lot of the coins, they just copy the code from Bitcoin and claim it to be better. But even if it is, you still need adoption, right? And so Bitcoin, it's, for me right now, it's the fastest horse in the race, and it's gonna stay like that for a while. Even if Monero has superior, technology compared to Bitcoin, but it will never be Bitcoin simply because of the adoption rate and the marketing behind it and the people that are behind it. No, it's not a wet dream. However, like, Monero will exist because privacy matters, right? And that's where I stand. Like, I'm definitely going to invest in Monero, definitely going to be investing in Pirate Chain. And I say, I say that because right now we are definitely in a bear market, in my opinion. I think some people out there are still saying that we are not in the bear market yet, and they could be right. But for now, all the signs are pointing to the bear market, and I'm gonna stick with that. To prep yourself. It can last for a year or two until the next halving. And so that is my take on privacy coin or coins. I think that you should have it. Just like anything, right? People can abuse Bitcoin, people can abuse Monero, but deep down, ask yourself this question: how are you going to use it? Right? So don't worry too much about what other people think. Just think of it. Just think on an individual level. Bitcoin is a tool. Monero is a tool. Use it. It's only good or bad up on the individual. And if you're not a bad individual, then don't worry about it. See the benefit in it and use it. So that's my take on it, my friend. Much love. use the hashtag Gazillionaires Club and let's have a conversation about privacy coin or coins, because like some people don't seem to like it, and at first I was kind of like that, but now I'm on the other fence. I'm on the other side of the fence, and I'm loving it. Like the more I learn about crypto, I'm like, man, we should have privacy coin. Like Bitcoin we can use for like real estate, buying a car, or just store your value there. Kind of like a house. When you buy a house, you have the title to the house. Kind of like that. And if you want like from day to day transaction, or if you want to do something that you don't want people to know, just because you don't want people to know does not mean it's a bad thing. And I think that's where privacy is going to come in. Like to say that we don't need any privacy only are for the slaves, and you are not a slave. I'm not a slave, okay? We have to protect our privacy. So much love, tada.